we have expressions and variables are included, we'll be asked to evaluate them, and they'll usually give us some numbers. So for instance, they will give us something that looks like this. They'll say u, v, minus 3, and they'll say that the u equals 4, and the v equals -2, and they want you to evaluate this expression. So they just want you to plug these numbers in to where you see the letters. So 4, and then it's a -2. But what is going on between the 4 and the -2? It's actually multiplication. When you don't see a symbol, it is understood that it's multiplication, and then we have -3. I'm sorry, this pen is not great, I don't think. So we now have to do the multiplication before we do the subtraction, and we end up getting 4 times -2. I have to remember my negative rules is going to give me a -8 minus 3. Now here's an example of that keep it, change it, change it. But now you can see I'm really adding two negative numbers together, so I'm getting a larger negative number, and the answer is -11. Okay. The next one, I have 32x squared, and they'll tell me that the x is equal to a -1. So you go back and you go 32 times -1 squared. Now, this is in place of the x, so I want to square it first before I do anything else. What is -1 times -1? It's plain +1. So 32 times a +1 is just 32. Km. Here's another one. Km plus m. And they'll tell you that the k equals, let's see, I'll make the k be a 3 and the m be equal to 2. So just plug in those numbers. K is going to equal 3. I'm multiplying, and then I am putting a 2 into that m as well. Now I have to do the multiplication before I can do the addition. Do not be tricked into adding your 2 and 2 and getting 4. So here we have 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 2 gets me to 8. Now let's do one that looks like it's a fraction of some sort. Fg divided by g squared. Well, they're going to tell me that f equals -18 and g equals 2. Well, what I recommend first is put these numbers into what you see. So I've got -18 times the letter g, which is a 2, divided by 2 squared. And really what I'd like to do, instead of seeing it as a squared number, go back and break it into its parts. And I've got -18 times 2 divided by 2 times 2. And at this point, it's easier for you to see. We can actually cancel that out. I have just divided by the number 1. I have reduced this fraction without ever multiplying. I can also now see that 2 can go into 18 9 times, but I have to keep that negative sign because I only have one negative, so it makes it negative. So the answer is -9. And if I had done it, I could have had 2 times the 18. Let's do this. So 18 times 2 would have given me 36, but I would have had a -36 over a +4. And 4 does go into 36 9 times, and it stays negative. So I would get the same thing. But this division first saved me from doing large multiplication that then I had to go back and divide.